Yo, what's going on, guys? In today's video, I'm going to be showing you the replays from CRL yesterday. So basically, the top 1,000 players from ladder last season all got invited to a Clash Royale League bracket, and basically the top 32 would move on to day 2 and then eventually would compete to try to get in the monthly finals and obviously win the entire thing. So I was up against Lucas X Gamer in my first duel here. This actually wasn't my first duel, but it's the first duel I'm showing. I was already a few wins in at this point, and CRL is a total of 9 rounds. You have to go at least 7-2 to actually qualify to the next stage, so there's very little room for error. I decided to play a drill deck here in the first game, just a very safe deck overall, only really struggles against some things like Lava Hound. And I wasn't feeling too good when I saw Lucas had Balloon, but I was pretty sure that he would not have any super heavy air cards with that, so I was thinking, okay, maybe I'll be fine because I have like Snowball, the Tesla, all of that stuff. And Lucas here, as you can see, had pretty awkward cards to defend the Goblin Drill with, so I knew that I could do pretty well. And guys, basically how this works is that each round is a best of 3 duel against another player who has the same wins as you. So yeah, the higher wins you get, the better players you're going to face and be matched up against. And also, when you play a card like in the first game, like for example in this game here I was playing Poison, so that means that I can't play Poison in the second or third game of this duel. And guys, you'll see here by the end of this video whether I was able to make it to day 2 of CRL or not. I may have made it, or I may have just barely fell short. You guys will just have to wait and see. Guys, I will say, man, the minions are absolutely broken right now. Bro, look at the range on those things. That just seems so unnatural. They literally have the range of like an Inferno Dragon or something. It's kind of insane. Demolisher unfortunately did not quite connect to the tower. Guys, one thing you should definitely pay attention to here is that you could kind of notice how I'm playing very reactive. Like, I knew that Lucas would probably try to prediction miner, so I kind of held off on my Tesla right there. Then I was also able to get a really good Mighty Miner Bomb to push that balloon more towards the center and avoid even taking death damage. And I think one of the most important things I was doing in this game, guys, is that I was always kind of keeping at least a few elixir in hand, just so that if Lucas went for some dumb balloon push, I'd always have at least a few elixir to stop whatever he threw at me. The guards were able to get a little bit of a tower connection here. That was a really good drill in the back, just knowing that he would have to play the monk onto it, and then I could get the guards down in front, which he really wouldn't have any ground unit to stop. Got a nice poison right there. It's kind of worth it just because Evo Inferno Dragon is pretty pesky. And my Evo Tesla was doing a really good job here. I knew it would also get the pulse to reset that Evo Inferno Dragon. Lucas kind of just choked with the miner right there. I think he was trying to maybe keep that Evo Inferno Dragon alive. You know, he was kind of just getting desperate at this point. But guys, I was looking pretty good in this game, but then Lucas got a double balloon push, 1 balloon on both sides. And another thing that I was not feeling too good about was the fact that I wasted so many good cards in this match. I wasted the Poison, I wasted the guards, Tesla, Evo Snowball, like all of these really good cards, right? And look at Lucas's deck, he really didn't waste that much good at all. I mean, he wasted the arrows, which is a great spell, and the miner as well, I guess, but besides that, he really didn't waste that many broken cards. So even though I was feeling like I could win this match, I knew that if I won this one, it could still be very easy for him to win the next games, unless I played really well and picked some really good decks. But guys, we were playing in-game duels here, so basically we had to pre-make 4 separate decks, and we just pick which one we want to run each match. Lucas went in for another balloon here. I just got a high Tesla, just making sure I played the Teslas high enough every time so he couldn't somehow get the balloon to bypass in a funny way. I decided to save my Snowball here. I let the balloon get, I think, death damage, but I just wanted to have that Snowball drill push because there was really nothing Lucas could do about a Snowball Goblin drill. Yeah, I snowballed the monk away, then Goblin got on the tower, got my poison down, and that put me up 1-0. Alright guys, and for my next deck, I decided to pick Royal Giant against Lucas. Alright guys, so in this next game, I decided to play Royal Giant with the Furnace. It was kind of nice that I didn't waste Furnace in my Goblin Drill deck. I noticed a lot of people in CRL were playing Furnace and Goblin Drill, but I feel like it's kind of nice to save it. I was kind of just like leaking my elixir here for a few seconds, but then I eventually played the Furnace. I was kind of scared he could have Lava Hound, but then I remembered that he wasted like the miner, the arrows, the balloon, so I was pretty sure he would not have a Lava Hound deck. Now guys, unfortunately Spirit Empress is just such a difficult card to take out unless you have basically Rocket, so I was pretty scared here, but he messed up the Golem. I don't know what Lucas was thinking, but guys, I kind of panicked right here. I could have maybe got my king up with the Fisherman, but I decided to play it up high instead because I was kind of scared that he would somehow reset it. Then I messed up the Electro Spirit and that really cost me. Yeah, that was terrible because I missed the guards and that one single guard got like 500 damage on my tower. But honestly guys, I think I should have just activated my king tower off the Golem. It's just that I was scared that Lucas might barely get to some reset, like, you know, a tornado to pull my fisherman away. So I was kind of scared of that. So that's why I played it early, even though it kind of ended up costing me. My furnace actually did kill the Electro Dragon, though, and got a hit on the tower somehow. So I was down a few hundred right here, guys, and I don't know, I knew that I could come back in this match. The thing is, though, guys, it's just that the Spirit Empress is practically impossible to kill. Like, how do you kill Spirit Empress in this matchup? Like, what can you even do? You can Lightning. That doesn't kill it. Lightning plus Zap can't even kill a Spirit Empress. Monk ability is honestly the best thing I had here to kill a Spirit Empress, but if I go for like a Monk ability and a Lightning, that's 12 Elixir for a 6 Elixir card. I did get my Monk ability here and kind of a high Fisherman, maybe a little bit aggressive by me, but I was hoping that I could just get away with it. And yeah, RG got quite a bit of damage right there. His Lumberjack, I believe, did go for my tower, man. I don't know what I was doing with the late skeletons. Maybe I was just like a little bit shivery fingers, if you will. Because, guys, Lucas is actually a really good player, man. Like, I'm not really the nervous type or anything like that, but Lucas is a really good player. He's probably like a top 3 player in the game right now, I would say. So yeah, RG took out the tower right here, and I was just hoping I could get a really good Monk and maybe a Lightning to combo with that, but Lucas was deciding to try to go for a bit of a double lane push here. So I got a really good ability timing there on the Spirit Empress. You can see it does pretty good damage to it. Lucas gave me really good Lightning value on the Evo Electro Dragon, but not before it heavily damaged down my Furnace. I was thinking maybe I would have a chance to survive here, but the Spirit Empress was literally not dying. Bro, how did that John not die there? Guys, I'm so confused how that Spirit Empress didn't die. I think if the Empress died right there, guys, maybe I could have survived if I went for like an E-Spirit up high after, got my Furnace down. But no, I just had to let Lucas take my tower, get some damage on my King Tower. He went for a Golem in the pocket. I knew my only chance here was to pull it back with the Fisherman. So I got a pretty good Fisherman placement. Lucas went for kind of a late Electro Dragon. But yeah, this matchup doesn't even look bad though, guys. Like, if he didn't have the Spirit Empress, I think I'd actually have a pretty nice matchup. I think the most difficult things here are the fact that he has the Spirit Empress and also the guards help him a lot. They don't normally have guards in the deck, but it's really good DPS for him. And also the pump is kind of annoying, but luckily I was pressuring really well in the match, so he wasn't able to get many pumps. He just went for the guards here on my RG, guys, and I was thinking at this point that my game plan would be probably just to try to spam Furnaces and just go for some aggressive RGs. Here I was in a really awkward spot. I literally had nothing to deal with the Spirit Empress except the Monk, so I barely got the Monk down in time, and my Furnace was kind of cooking up Lucas a little bit right here, along with the nice log. But I needed to get a Lightning down desperately. See, guys, I feel like the Evo E-Drag was kind of annoying for me here, because even though I could deal with it with the Lightning, it seemed like it would always kill everything I had before I could get the Lightning down, just because I would have to constantly be playing stuff, and I'd never have that 6 Elixir right away in hand, it seemed like. RG was able to get some nice damage here, but I was kind of scared that I might just lose the game off a Golem in the pocket. And I believe, yeah, Lucas did end up going for the Golem in the pocket. I was able to kind of separate his push a little bit. I went for the RG in the pocket, and I shouldn't have done that because Lucas was able to just go for a NATO to pull it to his King Tower. I kind of knew he would do that. I was just hoping he would like mess up the placement somehow, because that was really my only hope right there. And yeah, guys, unfortunately, I lost the second game. Now, guys, in the final match, I decided to take my Skeleton Barrel deck. So for game 3, I had a very nice Mortar Skeleton Barrel deck. It had the minions in it too, just a bunch of really strong cards. And Lucas decided to go in for a Goblin Drill deck. Unfortunately, this version of Mortar, I did not decide to put the Skeleton King into. Normally, Mortar sometimes has Skeleton King, which can deal with the Goblin Drills pretty nicely, but I did not have it. Got some nice minions onto his Berserker. Lucas had kind of an awkward cycle at this point, so he had to go for a weird bomber, but the minion's range was just able to completely just decimate everything, and I think Mortar got a shot on the tower. Yeah, crazy Mortar shot. And also, guys, the Dark Goblin seems quite good after the rework, man. It still gets so much value. And Lucas had to respond to this Skelly Barrel still, because those skeletons would have got some pretty nice damage on his tower. But guys, basically how this deck works is that in this type of matchup, you want to essentially just cycle to your Evos, like your Evo Skelly Barrel, Evo Mortar, and then when they're just kind of low on Elixir after they went in for like maybe a Drill, for example, and you get a bit of a counter push, you just make a really good double lane. You just make really good double lane pressure. You have like an Evo Mortar one side, Evo Skelly Barrel other side. You know, you have like the Dark Goblin up in the middle. I will say here, Lucas was doing a really good job of holding off with his Tesla, so it was kind of hard to ever predict it, because I didn't want to accidentally catch nothing. I think I had to Dark Goblin the back right here. Yeah, I ended up Barbrilling on the Fire Spirit, which wasn't too good for me, because I kind of wanted to always just have that Barbarian Barrel for the Goblin Drill. That was really my best counter to it. I was able to get the Skelly Barrel to the tower here. I guess Lucas just wanted to go ahead and save that snowball for his Goblin Drill push. So I had my Evo Mortar here in cycle, but I just decided to get some nice defense off. Lucas got a Mighty Miner at the bridge, but my minions actually still killed the Bomber right there, which was pretty huge. But man, these Goblins from the drill just got so much damage. I could have maybe got something down for them if I got something else for the Mighty Miner as well, but I just didn't really think that I'd have enough elixir to stop everything. I got my Evo Skelly Barrel, just trying to pressure and distract him from my Evo Mortar at the same time as it was rapidly shooting at all of his stuff. And I was just getting really good double lane pressure here, got the gang, and then the mortar just ran straight on the tower there. Got a Berserker down to tank for the goblins that the mortar spawns, but Lucas got a really good Evo Snowball plus Fire Spirit combo. Still, the damage is kind of insane though, guys. I feel like they should make it so the goblins spawned by the Evo Mortar have a little bit more of a delay, so they only get one hit on the tower if untanked for, instead of getting the 2 hits. Now here Lucas got the Evo Tesla. Evo Tesla's a real good hard counter to mortar decks, mortar spam decks, so I knew my mortar was dead at that point. But yeah, I was up like 500 damage here, and stuff was looking pretty good, but I swear, in this match, it's just like one Evo Snowball, and it's absolutely over. I decided to play a Goblin Gang, but it gave Lucas a really good Fireball. I had no choice, though. Luckily, he didn't really get too much damage on me. But yeah, Dark Goblin was doing some work here. We made Lucas go for the high Tesla, and I think I just got a Bar Barrel on the Bomber. Yeah, I was using my Elixir pretty efficiently here, guys. Notice how I was always trying to get the most efficient trades possible. I did go for a Fireball on the Mighty Miner just because it was getting kind of late on the game, in the game, and I just knew that I would need some sort of chip damage to win this. But then Lucas got such a good Evo Snowball, and without my Bar Barrel and Cycle, I literally couldn't do anything about it. Berserker got kind of pulled there by the Skeleton Barrel, and Mortar, I believe, was on the tower. I think the Mortar's on the tower right now. Yeah, Mortar got on the tower, but then Lucas just Fireballed it, and he Snowballed. I'm not sure if he actually had to Snowball there, guys, so I decided to just spam him because, I mean, what else was I going to do here? If I let him keep on punishing me with the drills and the snowballs, I was dead either way. So I got my Dark Goblin on the tower, man. Just barely snuck on in the nick of time. Got my mortar down just in case I needed a little bit more damage. But guys, I just barely stole it, and I was able to win the duel against Lucas. So next up, I was up against Adriel, who I believe is a top 5 player in the game right now. Honestly, I had some pretty... I mean, he's at least like, yeah, around top 5 of a player in this game. So yeah, honestly, I had some pretty difficult opponents, guys. And at this point in the Swiss bracket, I basically needed to win 2 more matches in order to secure a qualification. So I just really needed to lock in here. I decided to play Pekka in the first game, and I went for kind of an aggressive Pekka in the back because when I saw his cards, I pretty much already knew it was going to be Electro Giant after I saw like the, you know, Golden Knight and Tornado. And against Electro Giant, you can be kind of aggressive with your Pekka sometimes because even if they have the E-Giant to punish you, usually they can't afford to go for it, because if they punish you with an E-Giant other side, then they can't really defend your Pekka. Unfortunately, I tried to Bomber there to block the Barbarian Barrel, but it didn't quite work out for me. The positioning was just a little bit off. And Adriel decided to go in for a Golden Knight, which was actually a pretty good play by him because the Spirit Empress just has so much HP and damage that he knew it would get him some good value. But I got some pretty decent arrows off, and it wasn't the best start, but could have been worse. I would say the main issues for me in this matchup were definitely the fact that I could really not kill Spirit Empress, because obviously I had the Furnace, I had the Mother Witch which target air, but the Furnace just can't deal that much damage to take out a Spirit Empress. Literally nothing in my deck could take it out. So what I had to try to do here, guys, was basically just to make as much split lane pressure as possible, because if I tried to go all in one lane, I knew I was just going to be completely dead either way. And also another issue for me here is that Adriel decided to go for the Goblin Cage in his deck. If he had something like a cannon instead, then I could be much more aggressive with stuff like my Battle Rams, because I knew that I would know that they could always, you know, force out the few elixir from him. But because he had the Goblin Cage, it would just always get him a counter push, so I had to be really careful. So my Mother Witch was doing something here. I just got the arrows on the Evo Archers. Honestly, if I was really quick, I probably could have actually hit both of the Archers with the arrows, and just I could have kind of aimed them for his King Tower since it was already up. He got his King Tower up really early, which was also kind of annoying for me. As you can see, Adriel was playing this matchup really passive. He actually did not go for a single Electro Giant to this point. He decided to go for a Lightning there on my Evo Furnace, and I was kind of just building up a slight double lane push right here. I had my Evo Battle Ram, which I knew could get good value. Honestly, guys, if I went for an Evo Battle Ram on the right side, maybe that could have worked out a little bit better for me. The Goblin Cage didn't even pull in my Battle Ram, but it actually reset it kind of annoyingly, so it ended up just getting countered easily. The Ghost got one hit on the tower, though, and I just had really good pressure here. Because you guys could see, like, my cards kept on getting destroyed by his, but just the fact that I was constantly spamming was allowing me to just never allow him to make the right push. I decided to go for an early Golden Knight ability. Yeah, I got a nice Golden Knight ability, which actually chained on his tower. Then I got my Pekka down, but these Spirit Empresses were just being so dumb. But guys, notice the right side. My Furnace was actually chipping away a little bit. When I was playing this game, I wasn't even really paying attention to that, but yeah, it was chipping away pretty nicely. Got my Bomber to tank for the Mother Witch just to make sure it would kill the Spirit Empress, and luckily it was able to. Adriel's Electro Giant really didn't do much at all, but he did get a Goblin Brawler hit on the other side, which did give him the damage lead. Unfortunately, I got my Battle Ram down at kind of the wrong time, just right into a Spirit Empress, and man, the damage on that thing is just so dumb. I was up so much Elixir at this point, but I just couldn't really capitalize on it when he had his Evo Archers and his Evo Cajun cycle. Maybe I could have actually taken that Golden Knight charge on the tower and just gone for a Pekka down low, so I could kill the Spirit Empress easier, but I don't even know. Anyways, Adriel went for the Electro Giant on the other side. I decided to go for my Evo Furnace, and I was just hoping I could survive somehow. Got my Golden Knight down and the ability as well. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I could have somehow avoided using that one Pekka that I had to play on the left side. But it's just so awkward. So I got my Pekka at the bridge right here, guys. I just wanted to go all in, and Adriel actually played a Spirit Empress in the ground form, not the air form, which was pretty good for me because the air form could counter me pretty easily, but the ground form wouldn't get him too much value, so it kind of just got shredded right away. He got his E-Giant down on defense, and unfortunately it wasn't getting targeted by the tower, so it had so much HP I had to get my Mother Witch down, and then I decided to go for the Evo Battle Ram, but it just felt like no matter what I did in this matchup, there was not much of a way to break through. Golden Knight was unfortunately not able to chain towards the tower, and yeah, that was really just a Spirit Empress showcase. So for the next game, I decided to go ahead and take the Skeleton Barrel, guys. I had a bit of a quick cycle Evo Skelly Barrel Mortar deck. I did play a Mortar deck in the set against Lucas, but in this set I decided to make a bit of a quicker cycle one with like the Cannon Cart and stuff like that. Adriel had the Furnace, which didn't really tell me much. You know, Furnace can pretty much mean anything. The weird thing about this deck, though, guys, is that you don't have any tank in this deck. Like, you do have the Cannon Cart, I guess, but you don't have an actual Knight or anything like that. Also, I don't know how that Furnace survived right there, but that was actually really bad for me because it just made me spend a whole extra Cannon Cart. I was going to have to play it anyways against the Monk, but still was kind of annoying for me. Forced out his Log there on the Skelly Barrel, then I just went for a Mortar down low here. I actually got a really nice Cannon Cart, guys, because it was able to kill the Monk, but then also just target the RG while it was locked on the Mortar. So I took out the RG and took no damage here. Had to go for the Dark Goblin onto his Furnace, which I knew would probably make it die, but didn't really have any distractions. So overall, I defended pretty good. My game plan here was basically just to make a lot of pressure with my Skeleton Barrels and sometimes get some nice offensive Evo Mortars and stuff like that. See, guys, the bad thing in this matchup is that the Furnace is really hard to kill since I had no poison or something. Obviously, Fireball does a decent job versus it, but it doesn't fully kill it, so I'd have to spend like 6 Elixir to kill the 4 Elixir Furnace every time, which kind of sucks if I use my Bar Barrel plus Fireball. And, I mean, another interesting thing about the matchup is that the Bats can actually get pretty good value since Adriel had no Electro Spirit. He had the Electro Wizard instead of an Electro Spirit. But he had the Furnace, though, at the same time, which does counter the Skelly Barrel and the Bats pretty nicely as well. Adriel decided to get his Monk down in the middle. Good thing I didn't try to go for like a Prediction Cart or something like that, because I could have easily gone for a Prediction Cannon Cart and just could have cost myself. Adriel kind of mistimed his Monk ability, though. He didn't really reflect my Mortar whatsoever, actually. Unfortunately, his Evo Furnace was reaching so far, man. I don't know how it went that far. And Adriel decided to get kind of an aggressive RG down. My Bar Barrel did not really hit anything because I wasn't expecting him to go in like that all of a sudden. Mortar actually did get one shot on the tower, and Skeletons just barely countered the Royal Giant, so I was actually looking pretty good here, guys. I feel like Adriel was making some very slight slip-ups, and that was just allowing me to get ever so little tiny bits of chip damage to put me in the lead. And also the Skelly Barrel connected on the tower because of my really nice Fireball. See, Adriel has some really good pushes he can make in this matchup that I pretty much can't defend, but sometimes you're just able to pressure so well that even though they have all the right cards, they just can't really get them all down at the same time to make the push that they want to make. But here it was starting to get harder and harder. Adriel went for a Furnace down the middle. I just pressured other lane with the Skeleton Barrel. Could have got a really good fireball, but I knew he would pop that monk ability, so good thing I didn't. Got a really nicely spaced dart goblin here, and the mortar was able to splash down the furnace. I decided to go for a skelly barrel evolution here behind the bats, just so that way the bats would tank for the skelly barrel and maybe allow me to get a better connection, but he did just go for the fireball. I got a really good mortar timing here, though. Adriel was kind of getting run thin here, but then he did get the Evo furnace down, which I had to just try to snipe with my dart goblin. I was able to snipe it pretty nicely, actually. Then the mortar got on the tower there. I went for the skelly barrel, predicting that he would overcommit on the mortar. And I don't know what in the world that fireball was. I knew he would E-Wiz on the skelly barrel, so I went for an Evo mortar other side. But it was kind of late in double elixir, guys, so he was getting his elixir really, really quickly. Maybe I could have fireballed the fisherman, but it was kind of risky. Would have been kind of a risky play, so I don't blame myself too much for not doing it. He got a really good monk ability, though, and that kind of just shut down everything I had going, but I was playing really well in this match, guys. I made pretty much no mistakes. Maybe the only thing I could have done was get that one fireball to get that Evo mortar locked on, but it's kind of hard to know in the moment exactly how much elixir someone has to, like, the very decimal, you know? But yeah, I got my dart goblin down the middle. Unfortunately, his fisherman actually pulled my dart goblin. I wanted it to pull the cannon cart, not the dart goblin. Mortar did get on the tower, though. I don't know how that got on the tower, actually. And then Adriel got a furnace down the middle right here, so I just went for my mortar. This furnace was actually being really annoying for me. I got my dart goblin, but he was able to just log it right away. Got my bats on his RG. How is that furnace reaching that far, by the way? Can we talk about that furnace reaching that far? Bro, I don't know what I was supposed to do, guys. I think what messed me up there pretty much was just the furnace sniping down everything in the middle, and I just couldn't afford to spend a whole 6 elixir on it. And then he just had that furnace supporting both sides of the RG push. Honestly, well played to Adriel. I think I could have maybe won this matchup. I think it can really go either way, though, because it's pretty fine for mortar early on, but then I think in triple elixir it gets kind of rough. Next up, I was facing Sandbox, who is another really good player inside of this game, and I was thinking there's a chance that he could go for a Hog Earthquake deck, but I was just hoping he wouldn't. Unfortunately for me, though, he did end up taking Hog Wizard, and I had a mortar deck, guys. I was just going for quite a bit of the mortar skeleton barrel deck. It was just really broken. I feel like it's just so broken right now. So I decided to go for my Skelly King in the back. Once I saw Wizard, I was actually thinking it could be RG, but I knew that there's also a chance that it could be Hog Rider. So Sandbox went for the high Tesla, and here I knew it had to be Hog Rider, and I was already assuming that he would probably have a monk with it as well. I decided to go for a mortar here, I believe, just because Sandbox wasted his Tesla and the Wizard, so he had no range card to do too much to me. He didn't really get the best timed monk ability right there. I mean, I guess it did good against my cannon cart, but pretty bad against my mortar. The cart was just destroying the monk, but he got the earthquake down, so I didn't really get any damage at all right there. Got a nice dart goblin at the bridge here, just trying to force out the log so then I could go for the, I believe, goblin gang. Yeah, I went for the goblin gang here. I was hoping he would have to Evo Wizard onto it, but he actually ended up having the guards, which I didn't realize at the time. I didn't know if he would have guards or not. And guys, I kind of had my back up against the wall right here because I knew that if I lost this match, or this duel set, I might not be able to qualify. Like, you could still qualify if you get 7-2, but some people who get 7-2 actually don't qualify, so I just really wanted to secure a win right here. I went for the mortar, but it was one tile off, so I knew I had to Skelly King. I was hoping he would Earthquake on the mortar and the tower, just so that way I wouldn't be down too much elixir, but he ended up not going for the Earthquake, so I was down quite a bit of elixir here, if you include the fact that he had a full HP Wizard and my Skelly King was not really going to do anything at all. I think I went for a pretty high cannon cart. Yeah, just trying to force out his early ability. I feel like that was a pretty decent play by me right there, guys, just to make that ability only get value against my cannon cart, but not actually reflect my tower at all. And I got kind of an interesting defensive Skelly Barrel, which I guess kind of worked, and then I just got my Evo Mortar down defensively. Got some minions as well. I was pretty sure I'd take a Hog hit right here, though, because the Hog had plenty of HP. But I don't know, guys, how did that stop that? Did you see that? The new minions are actually so broken, I'm telling you. And they still got damage on the tower, too. The new minions are actually so broken. Before, guys, with the old minions, that Hog probably would have gotten like 2 hits, and the minions would not have touched the tower against the Wizard. I was kind of baffled by the fact that I took no damage there. See, this matchup is honestly pretty hard, but with the start I had, I knew I could have a small chance to maybe do something here. Because, yeah, it's pretty bad, but, like, if you get some crazy minion interactions and stuff like that, you could sometimes do something. It's just that Wizard kind of destroys minions, and especially the Evo Wizard is such a pain to deal with. Sandbox got a really good Hog Rider right here. Maybe my aggressive mortar wasn't the best thing ever, but I think I was actually able to defend decently. Yeah, I was thinking my mortar was actually pretty bad there, guys, but then I defended pretty well, and I was still up in damage, and I had some more damage on the left side. Because in this matchup, you really do want to go opposite lane. I got my Skelly King ability, but a little bit of it did get clipped by the Tesla. I knew he had Evo Tesla and Cycle, but I was just hoping that he wouldn't be able to clip everything. I went for the Dark Goblin, and I think I Goblin ganged as well, or... Oh, I guess I didn't go for the Goblin gang. But yeah, I just wanted to apply a bit of pressure so he wouldn't go for like a monk with his push, and luckily I was able to succeed in doing that. I went for kind of an aggressive Skeleton Barrel right here as well, just wanted to keep on spamming something, just keep on forcing out his Elixir and trying to divert his attention. That's basically what my game plan was here. It was kind of hard not to give him value though, because I feel like pretty much anything I did would always give him value. Man, if I got some really quick minions or a really quick Goblin gang, I probably wouldn't have had to spend my Evo Mortar there on the Hog Rider, and I could have maybe got the Evo Mortar on the left side and could have just won the game right there, but unfortunately I didn't have my stuff hovered at that point. Got some arrows down on the Evo Wizard, just wanted to take that shield off. And his Electro Spirit was definitely helping him too against the Skelly Barrels. It allowed him to preserve his entire Tesla's HP. Got kind of an interesting mortar placement. That was really the best I could do with the way that stuff was positioned. You have to be kind of careful with Monk Hog Rider pushes, because sometimes the Monk can actually push the Hog Rider and make it dodge your building. Skelly Barrel did not quite get a tower connection, but it actually got one skeleton hit though. Got my mortar on offense because I knew at this point that it was kind of just do or die. Like if I didn't get a mortar connection, I was probably going to be dead either way. Sandbox kind of messed up his monk ability. He went for it a little bit late, so I just decided to spam him, and this was my last hope here. But then he had the Evo Tesla, which is just going to completely wreck everything that I had. I think I went for my Skelly King ability, yeah, but I think the only thing I could have really done differently was the Evo Mortar. I don't know if that would have been enough to win me the game though, but you never know. So next up, I decided to take the Evo Archers, which I believe was an Electro Giant deck. Yeah, guys, I decided to play Electro Giant in Game 2, and Sandbox decided to play a Splash Yard deck. I'm pretty glad I went for this E-Giant deck, because I did have the Archers in here to make it just a little bit safer against Lava Hound decks, and of course Archers help against Graveyard as well. Now in this type of matchup, guys, you would think it should be pretty good since you have Archers and stuff like that, but I swear, man, the defense of Splash Yard is absolutely insane, man. Sometimes the Ice Wizard will just like single-handedly kill an entire E-Giant push, and then they just like poison the floor to slow everything even more, and it just gets so annoying. But the Spirit Empress was a pretty nice card here, and I knew that because he only had poison, which would not really deal with it. Sandbox completely choked there with the Berserker. I think if he didn't play anything there, guys, the Golden Knight would have just died to the tower, but instead he kind of panicked there, and he actually gave me a free connection by playing the Berserker. He went for the Knight here, and at this point I already knew that he had Splash Yard, so just got my cage down. Normally, when you're playing E-Giant against Splash Yard, you have to play kind of chill. You can't really go for early E-Giants because then they can just punish you and defend cheaply, but I decided to go for my E-Giant kind of aggressively in the corner just because I had Archers, so I could defend a lot cheaper if he decided to go in. The Furnace was a little bit annoying, though, because Furnace does have a pretty slow attack speed, so it takes the Electro Giant quite some time to actually take it down. Right here, Sandbox went for the Poison, and he honestly had a really good Goblin Hut here, just targeting onto my Spirit Empress, which was kind of annoying for me. Yeah, if I had like a Barbell a little bit earlier, I could have just taken out his entire counter push that he had going right here, but because my Spirit Empress died, there was not too much I could do. Sandbox actually could have went in for a Graveyard here. I feel like maybe if he went for a Graveyard, he could have got a lot of damage, but he just had a terrible Furnace right there, and also a terrible Berserker, guys, because Berserker, you can actually get your King up off of, and when you're facing Splash Yard, that is pretty detrimental. I feel like not many people really know that you can get your King up off Berserker using a NATO, because they think it's so squishy, but you can actually pretty easily move it since it's such a light unit, so I got my King up, but unfortunately I did take quite a bit of damage in the process, and in this matchup, guys, they can sometimes beat you without even playing a single Graveyard if they play completely crazy defense, but the thing that was good for me here is that the Furnace would always play those Fire Spirits, which I knew would pretty much guarantee that I could get some Golden Knight lineups at some point in this game on the tower. So yeah, I got my Spirit Empress rolling here. I pulled in his Ice Wizard with my Tornado. And I just kind of let my E-Giant die here. I knew that it was not really going to do much at this point, which is fine. You know, it got its value, and it's fine to just let your push go when you know it's not really going to get more value. Then I got my E-Giant down again for the second time with my with my Spirit Empress just rocking down the lane. Went straight for that Ice Wizard right there. Then I got my Lightning as well. I didn't even hit the tower there. I probably should have hit the tower, but I was just trying to make sure that I could hit anything he would play there on the field. Got some nice E-Giant damage, and the Spirit Empress got on the tower doing like 300 damage per shot for 2 shots, which put me in a really, really good spot. But guys, I was down 0-1 at this point, so even if I won this game, I would still have to beat Sandbox in the final game if I wanted to secure a qualification. I got a really good Barbaro here just to force some Spear Goblins out of his Goblin Hut, which I could then go for a Tornado onto with the Golden Knight to completely dash on everything and get that nice tower connection. I got a great Lightning as well. And the Furnace actually got targeted by my Spirit Empress, man. This Spirit Empress caused Sandbox so many issues throughout this match. I just got my Evo Archers down low. No reason to really play them, but there was no reason not to either. So just went in for an E-Giant once again, I think. Yeah, just got an E-Giant in the back. I knew that if he tried to pressure me on the right side, I could just suck in whatever he played with the Evo Cage. Guys, it's pretty good to bridge block or just, you know, get something like an Evo Cage to suck in someone's units when you have your King up against a Graveyard deck, because the King Tower plus Princess Tower alone will fully counter Graveyard every time, unless they get a tank for it, or they get, like, a Snowball, for example, to slow down your towers. Got my Barbaro plus Golden Knight here to kill the Furnace, and I got a nice Tornado pulling in the Ice Wizard. Then I just decided that I can just try to Lightning Cycle Sandbox at this point. I pretty much knew that I should have it in the bag, and yeah, Spirit Empress and E-Giant secured it. For the final match, I decided to go for the Royal Giant. This one was really for all the marbles, guys. I played Royal Giant with the Furnace and Electro Wizard. This was pretty much the same deck that... yeah, I think exactly the same deck that Adriel used to beat me. I decided to play it. And Sandbox decided to go for a Giant first play. Basically, how Sandbox deck works is that you try to play as no skill as possible, and you basically just try to overwhelm your opponent. It's kind of a weird deck. Like, sometimes it doesn't look that good, but just the spam of Prince and Lumberjack and also the Spirit Empress can be incredibly annoying. I got a little bit of a bad interaction, though, because the Spirit Empress was targeting the Fisherman and not the Monk, but then I got my nice Monk ability. You guys have to make sure you pop your Monk abilities pretty early now, guys, because they changed it so the Monk doesn't... How do I say it? It takes like a little bit more damage than it used to, even while it's in its ability. So you have to pop it kind of early so it doesn't die. I was honestly just trying to be really careful here as well, guys, because in this matchup, if you cycle one card at the wrong time, you could just insta-lose the game from that sometimes. So I decided to go for my Furnace in the back early. Didn't really have anything else to play. In this matchup, when they go for a Giant in the back, guys, do not go for an RG at the bridge other side. Otherwise, you're just asking to lose. If you do that, they basically just go for like a Lumberjack or a Prince onto that, and then they just get a double lane push and you're just dead, basically. That's what happens. Sandbox actually got a decent curse there, but I was able to stop everything for the most part, and I don't know how his Heal Spirit connected, but it is what it is, I guess. Yeah, I got my Electro Wizard down there as well, which I thought would kill the Prince, but then he got a pretty good zap, and unfortunately he did get a Prince on my tower a little bit, but only one hit, not a charge or anything. I feel like when you have guards in Royal Giant Monk, you can be a little bit more aggressive in this matchup, but when you don't have guards, you have to be a lot more careful. Now, guys, I finally decided to go for that RG and double Elixir just because I had my Evo Furnace down, so I knew that would completely carry me on defense. And I decided to try to get my King up off the Lumberjack, which I was able to successfully do. You just have to get that Rage from the Lumberjack to hit your tower, and then you're able to get your King up, which is really nice. Sandbox went for the Spirit Empress, but I've really been liking the Monk against Spirit Empress. I feel like it's one of the few cards that does pretty decent against Spirit Empress. And man, look at the amount of Fire Spirits I had here. See guys, for the most part in this matchup, how you get your RG pushes going is that you defend first, and then with your counter push, like for example in Evo Furnace, with that you then make a RG push. But you don't go for the RG for just no reason, most of the time. I mean, obviously I did one time right when it hit double Elixir, but especially in single Elixir, you can only go for RGs if you have some counter-pushing units. Got a nice Monk ability right here just to buy some time for all of my units, and Sandbox was a little bit late on the Heal Spirit. Furnace was just kind of chipping away at everything, just getting me some good game control. Sandbox was kind of missing his spells pretty much every time, which was really nice for me. And then I just went for the RG at the bridge right here. I was hoping that this RG would just be enough to take the win. But yeah, with my King up and everything, guys, I knew that I probably had Sandbox in the bag right here. If I won this match, I knew that I'd 99% sure qualify to the top 32 and make it to day 2. Lumberjack got on my tower, but I really didn't care at all. I just wanted to get that Monk down and then get a few reflections on his tower to take the win. So yeah, I got a really nice Monk ability, just decided to Fireball, and then I knew with Log it would be enough to take the win. So I was able to make it to day 2, guys, and you'll have to stay tuned until tomorrow for the day 2 video.